Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. It's your brother Atazawan Bayath. I'm going to bring a short lesson. And Lord willing, I can make all the points and get through all the scriptures. This lesson is going to be on really just the attitude of rulership, okay? Because there are a lot of people, you know, who have a problem with rulership, okay, and what the scriptures say about it, okay. And you know, there's many that just don't have the attitude of a ruler, okay. You know, you're sympathetic, you're empathetic to all these other nations, and in particular, Esau, Edom, you know, so-called white man, you know, Jake is just concerned about them, you know, to the point where you can't even sleep. Okay, you losing sleep over what the scriptures say about what's going to happen to them. Okay, now the prophecies are popping off, right? So this is a book of prophecy. So that means that everything in it is going to come to pass. It doesn't matter whether you feel like Esau should get a break. That's not going to happen. What you see on the screen there is a depiction, Slakia, an artist depiction of Yahweh Shai, right? Gives you an idea of what our Lord and Savior may look like, okay? And right there you see the scriptures of where you can go into the scriptures and get the description of what he looks like, okay? And he's not a so-called white man. And so, Lord willing, I'm going to get a few scriptures here, and we're going to talk about the nation of Israel, what the Lord expected of us, of course, what we did not do, but yet his redemption, okay, of the hopeful elect at the very, very end, okay, and we'll let the scriptures speak, okay, as to what type of mentality you're going to have. Okay, and if you don't have it, then this obviously is not for you. Okay. So let's get into it. I'm not gonna make this too long. All right. So let's take a look at some scriptures here. You know, because like I said, you know, there are a whole lot of Jakes out there. You know, you just worry about the white man. You'll come up and you'll ask questions, or you may put something on a comment board. And you never ask about any other nation. You just worried about the white folks. Okay, but all nations are going to be ruled with a rod of iron, as the scriptures say. Okay, and we'll get these scriptures here. So let's go to the first one. And I'm just going to jump in and read these scriptures, and then obviously go back and read them for yourself. Okay, so that we can go just straight to the point, and that way this video is not that long. Okay, so here we have in Deuteronomy 14. Now this, as it says at the top, it says clean and unclean animals, but what I have highlighted is a point that I want to get out for those, just in case there's somebody watching for the first time, so that you can understand this. Okay, who we are, what was expected of us. Okay, and ultimately at the very end, what's going to happen. Okay, so let's look at this. This is Deuteronomy 14:1, and it reads, "Ye are the children of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, your power. Ye shall not cut yourselves, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead." Okay, which really, I'm just starting at the top. That's not what I want. What I want is the second verse here. Okay, and it reads, "For thou art what? An holy people unto the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua thy power, and the Lord Yahweh hath what? Chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself." What does it say? Above all the nations that are upon the earth. Okay, so we are the cream of the crop. We are the ones that the Lord has chosen. You see? So this whole thing about everybody being equal, you know, no, that's not true. Okay, it says right there, okay, I'll read it again, verse 2. Deuteronomy 14:2, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, what? Above all the nations that are upon the earth. And I'm going to get through these scriptures here because we got a good number of them. But I want you to get that in your head, get that idea. Now, obviously, we did not do what the Lord commanded us to do, okay, as far as following the law, statutes, commandments. Okay, we broke those. But from the beginning, he chose us as a people, as a nation, all right, out of all the nations that he created. Okay, this is Deuteronomy 26:16. Okay, starting right there at 16, it says, it reads, this day the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua hath thy power, hath commanded thee to do these statutes and judgments. Thou shalt therefore keep and do them with all thine heart and with all thy soul. Thou hast avouched, and avouched, let's go into that word because it means basically you pledged. We pledged. Let's see if we can go in it and get it just so that you see. Okay. Let's see. Go down here. Salakia. I think I actually went in the wrong one. Let me see here. I did. No, here it is. Amar.
Strong's H559.
Amar.
Amar.
Okay, so let's look at it. I believe it's like to make a vow. Yeah, it says to say, speak, utter, to say, to answer, to say in one's heart, to think, to command, to promise. See, we had promised that we would do exactly what the Lord says. There at the bottom it says, see, a vow, to avouch. All right? So let's get back. And close this. And we'll start right there again at verse 18. Okay. And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua hath avouched thee this day to be his peculiar people, right? We read that in Deuteronomy 14. As he hath promised thee, and thou shouldst keep all his commandments, and to make thee high above all nations which he hath made. So he made all the nations, but he chose Israel to be above all of them, right? We are his peculiar people, okay? In praise and in name and in honor, and that thou mayest be an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua thy power, as he has spoken. So he promised, made a promise, right? Avouched. And we had, it was two-sided. He made his promise and we were supposed to do our part. We didn't do it, okay? So quickly, let's just go on over the Psalms. So, Lord willing, you understand who we are as a people in the scriptures, right? Okay, now here at the top, it says, the reign of the Lord's anointed. All right? So somebody's reigning. And when you reign, you're over something or somebody, obviously. You see? So these other nations, they're going to be reigned over by somebody, right? Obviously, we know it's Yahweh Shai, but let's read it. Now, this is King David, and this is Psalms 2. We start right there at the top, right? This is pretty short. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? You see, the heathens, the other nations, and even the wicked of our own can be considered a heathen, okay? Verse 2, the kings of the earth set themselves and rulers take counsel together against the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and against what? His anointed, saying, his people, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He has setteth in the heavens Salakia, he that sitteth in the heavens, I'm trying to look over this camera. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion, right? And Zion is what? The memorial or Israel, okay? From, I believe it's the Hebrew word is Zion, okay? Verse 7, I will declare the decree. The Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua had said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them, what? With a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Right. You take a vase or a vase or a glass jar and you drop it on the ground. What? It's no more good. It's all broken up. Right? Destroyed. You see? Be wise now, therefore, verse 10. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Who are the judges of the earth? Okay? Serve the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish from the way, when his wrath is kindled but a little. Blessed are all they that put their trust in him. Okay? So even wicked people of our own can be considered heathens. Okay? But this is to say, what? Even all the other nations, who try to come up against the children of the Lord will be dealt with in the end. All right? Going on, let's look at Isaiah 34. Okay, and right here is at the top, what does it say? It says, God's wrath against nations, right? Stop worrying about what's going to happen to the other nations. You see? This is Isaiah 34. We start right there at 1. How far do I want? Yeah, just the first 8 verses. That'll be good enough. You can, like I said, read it for yourself. Okay. All right. Isaiah 34 and 1. Come near ye nations to hear, and hearken ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is upon what? All nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. Right? I thought the Most High did nothing but love. You see? And that's what they teach. That God is all love. God is all love. All right? Obviously, there's some killing going on, and about to be in these times. A great slaughter is coming. Okay? Verse 4, and all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. Right? Talking about nuclear war. Okay? When you see the mushroom cloud. Okay? And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaves fall off from the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, which is another word. Actually, I think that word Idumea is a Greek word. Okay, but it means Edom. Esau, Edom. And upon the people of my cursed judgment. Okay, so stop worrying about the Edomites. Stop worrying about so-called white folks. Stop worrying about the other nations. Okay? Stop having pity and sympathy. You have to have a rulership or a ruler's mentality now. Okay? We're getting ready to come into power. And you can't be squeamish and you can't be soft. You can't be weak. All right? Verse 6, the sword of the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, is filled with blood. It is made fat with the fatness and with the blood of the lambs and goats and with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice in Basra, same thing, same people. And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay, see? All right, those are all the wicked from our nation to the other nations. All right, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullock with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made with fatness. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the Lord Salakia, and the year of recompense, which is to repay, okay, for the controversy of Zion. Right. They're going to be ruled with the rod of iron when we get in the kingdom, but they're going to be slaughtered first. Okay? Let's jump into Isaiah 40. And you know, it says the greatness of the Most High. But I think I'll just jump down for time's sake. And you can read this. Okay? But this is Isaiah 40 and 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. Okay? The Lord is great, mighty, powerful. Okay? Verse 17, all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. To whom to whom then will ye liken the Most High, or what likeness will ye compare unto him? Okay. The Lord is so great. I mean, you can't even, basically in verse 16, you know, you can burn Lebanon, but really, I mean, you can make as much sacrifice as possible, you know, but it's not nearly enough for his greatness. Okay, but I want to stop here and look in tools here and look at vanity. Okay, because it's telling you the other nations are made for vanity.
Strong's H8414. Tohu.
To who?
Tohu.
Okay, let's go into this and look at this word here. It says formlessness, confusion, unreality, emptiness, formlessness, place of chaos, wasteland, wilderness, that which is empty or unreal. Okay, nothingness, empty space. That's vanity. Okay, so that's what the nations are. They're nothing. Okay. Trying to put the effort in to just try to make it as simple to understand as possible, okay, without trying to get into a bunch of deep stuff, because, you know, Jake liked deep stuff, but you got to get the basics first. Okay, so let's read 15 again. It says, behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket. Yeah, when a drop of water falls out of a bucket, you don't care about it. You don't waste any time or trouble, you know, or getting all upset because you wasted a little bit out of a bucket. Okay, and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Yeah, what do you do with a balance? You know, if a balance sits there and collects dust, you blow it off. It's nothing. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing. You see, nothing is nothing, but when you less than nothing, okay? So the world was made for our sakes, okay? And Jake you're gonna have to muscle up, man. You can't be all squeamish. But, again, as we say with almost every lesson, this is really for the elect. Okay. So let's read Second Esdras. I think this is Slovakia. Yeah, it's Second Esdras 6. So let's look at this. Jump in right there at 54. Okay. And it reads, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Right. We all came from Adam, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Right. So the Lord chose a people. Again, right? Making the point that Israel is chosen as his nation, his favorite nation. We are his favorite. All these have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world what? For our sakes. Yes, everything in the world was made for the Israelites. Okay? It was made for us, if you will. All right? 56. As for the other people, which also come of Adam, right? All the other nations, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle. What is spittle? Spit. You clearing your throat and you turn to the side and right? That's what the other nations are like. You see? We're rulers, we're kings. And when Yahushua returns, man, we're going to be back in power. And that's how you have to be thinking about it, even now. Okay? Verse 56 again, and as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth what? From a vessel. We just read that. Right? Another account of it in Isaiah. You see? And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, right? Remember the heathen? Why do the heathen rage that we just read? Which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. Yeah, we're in a low spot now. Okay? Why? Because when you go back to what we were reading in Deuteronomy, we didn't do what the Lord told us to do, and he had promised to do something for us, but we had to do what? We had to hold our end of the deal up, and we didn't. Okay? So now what? Verse 58. But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? Right. We're in a low condition, in a bad state. Okay, but we can see with the prophecies coming off as quickly as they are, man, the Lord's about to return, and we got to get prepared for rulership. You got to come out of that weak state of mind. All right? For lack of a better way of saying it. So let's quickly look at Second Esdras again. I want to say this is 14. Yeah, 14. And let's just read this right here. Okay? You can go into it for yourself. All right? Second Esdras 14, start right there at 13. Now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from what? The mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man. Put off now what? The weak nature. And that's what you got to do. Stop worrying about these other people. They're going to be ruled over. We're going to rule over, Lord willing, we're part of that number. Okay? And set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Okay? And from that it goes into the visions that the Most High had given Esdras, and Esdras was going to have to write them down. Okay? So you can go into that chapter, but I just wanted to get that really verse 14. Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, right? We got a lot of weaklings out there. You worried about what's going to happen to the white man, okay? And what's funny is, like I say, Jake hardly ever asks anything about Chinese man or the Korean man or anything like that. They're always worried about what's going to happen to so-called white folk. These other nations are going to be ruled over in the kingdom for a while, 1,000 years, and then after that millennial reign of 1,000 years, Esau, Edom is going to be destroyed forever, and all the other nations will go back into their lands, and there'll be peace with all the other nations. They're going to still have to be ruled by us, but they're going to be willing. Okay? That's a short, condensed version of it. Okay? Let's look at this. Revelations 2 and 25. Okay? But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. Right? Talking about the saints in the new church. Right? Verse 26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power, what? Over the nations. You see? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father, and I will give him the morning star. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. Right, to the elect. In the last days, you know, we hear this, we hold fast to what we have learned in this truth until Yahushua comes and takes all the kingdoms down on this earth, okay? If that makes sense to you, Lord willing it does, okay? I think I wanted to get one more here. Well, a couple more and we'll be done. And at the top it says the coming of, well, it says Christ, but it's Hamashiach. Okay, Revelation 11. I'm just going through these just to prove to you that the other nations will be ruled over by Yahushua. Right? Salakia. Okay, so this is Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Right, many crowns. Right, taking down all the nations, all the other manly, worldly kingdoms. Okay, and he hath a name written that no man knew but himself, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And that's the Lord coming back with the armies of heaven, with the chariots. Okay, and out of his mouth goes a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power, and he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Right? Yahweh Shai. Okay? Which, this is the artist's depiction. Lord of Lords, and King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Yahweh Shai. You see? And the kingdom is established on the earth, okay? And all these nations will be ruled over with a rod of iron, and particularly that first 1,000 years, okay? Let's get this last one here in Revelation 12 or 5 and we'll be done. And I just wanted to get right to the point of the matter, which is right here, okay? It says, man child Hamashiach, okay? And she is Israel, okay? Because Israel is looked at as a delicate woman, particularly the men, okay? And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto the Most High and to what? His throne. You see? So Yahushua is going to rule, and Lord willing, we are joint heirs, right? And we will rule with Yahushua, and all these other nations will be in order. Okay? Everything will be in order and in righteousness. Okay? No more wickedness, no more heathens ruling on the earth, none of that. So stop worrying about the other nations and what's going to happen to them. They're going to get their licks. They're going to get their punishment. Okay? And in particular, Esau, Edom. Right? So, Lord willing, that was edifying to someone who watches it. And you understand now that we are a ruling class people by nature. Okay? By nature, we are a ruling class people. And you have to get that's the whole point of renewing your mind. Okay? With the truth. All right? With that, I'm going to end the lesson right there. I'm going to give all praise to the Most High, Yahweh, by Shem, Yahweh Shai, by Shibrakak, double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. I'll see you with another lesson real soon, Lord willing. Shalom.